Hello, believers, non-believers, and everyone in between. You're listening to Stories with Sapphire. I am Sapphire Sandalo. Now get cozy and open your mind because it's story time. Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. I hope everyone had a really great Halloween. And we're back with weekly live streams. Hello. Hey Adam Lombardo, Batman, Cringe Edits YouTube, Beiji Zero, Mika Ella Zaragoza, Tez, Sid Speed Draws, Kendall Booth, Jordan Williams, Junko Enoshima, Mia Vovi, Drew C, Silent Windhaven, R Whale. Welcome to the stream. Man, today has been a roller coaster of emotions because I got some like cool news, not really news, something cool happened, and then something not cool happened. And it's just funny. I feel like that's always how it is. Like something really good happens, but it's got to be bounced out by something really crappy. I'll tell you what it is. I made the mistake of going on the Ghost Town Terror Facebook page. Do not go there. It is a mess. People are very mean, and this is why I don't go on Facebook. I was sort of just like skimming. I didn't like get too deep, but I was just like, oh, this is weird. But then, it at the same time, it like kind of makes me laugh because I'm like, why are these grown adults like spending so much time on Facebook? Like, why is this the most important thing in your life right now? Why is this how you're choosing to spend your time? Do you know what I mean? It's fascinating. And then my friend called me. I'll give you the short version, but Elijah Wood knows who I am. And he loves my podcast. So no one can tell me anything because that's the coolest thing ever. I had the biggest crush on him when I was a kid. So this is just like a cool full circle moment for me. Ay. So freaking funny. Oopsies. Anyways, I just thought it was really funny and I wanted to share. It's also very cool. All right. If this is your first time here joining a stream, welcome. I read a couple of your emails and then at the end I do a collective card reading. I keep forgetting to swap out my decks, but this is the one we'll be using. Magic Morsels. It's like food themed. It's very cute. All right. Wow, my back already hurts. That's cool. All right, you ready for your first story? This is, yeah, it seems like everyone is agreeing with me. Yes, Facebook is bad. It's just like, I still have my page, my public page, which is why I haven't deleted my stuff. I want to delete so many things. I want to delete my Twitter and I want to delete my Facebook. But my concern is that when that username becomes available, someone will take it and then pretend to be me. And I'm like, that seems worse to me somehow. So I'm like, I'm just going to keep it so I can hold on to the name. And, excuse me, that way there's like an official, like, no, anyone who's not this is not me. Anyways. All right. This story is called The Rest Stop. It's from Courtney. Adam, don't feed the trolls. You have to talk about the letter you sent to Elisha. You have a hobbit now. Way better than trolls. Oh my gosh. We're not going to talk about the letter I sent him as a kid. That's so embarrassing. I don't remember how old I was. I want to say like 14 or 15. Anyways, why do I keep talking about the thing I'm not going to talk about? Demonizer133. Facebook is the internet's complaints department. I love it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here we go. Okay, sorry. Serious now. We're doing spooky now. The rest stop. I was driving across country with my mom and sister when I was 16 and my sister was 20. It was late, but we were well rested, still alert. We were driving along an interstate and needed gas and a bathroom break, so we stopped at the only rest stop in 200 miles. There was a van full of teenagers on a road trip at the gas station, as well as a small gray car parked at the pump in front of us with 2 young men standing still outside of it. When we got there, everything felt wrong. We'd been on the road for days and seen many rest stops at night and had never been afraid until then. My mom and sister went inside and I stayed in the car. I heard the teenagers say they were creeped out and couldn't get the pump to work, and they left in a hurry. I was watching the car in front of us, and the 2 men had not moved at all, not an inch. They were talking. Oh, they weren't talking. They weren't on phones. They were just standing there, still as stone. My sister and mom came running back out to the car, and when they got in, the 2 men slowly turned to look at us while not moving or pivoting the rest of their bodies, and I swear, we all saw the same thing. They had eyes dark as a ditch and empty, truly empty. Not black, not reflecting any light at all. Just a void. We sped out of there and didn't stop until we were in the next city. The worst thing about the entire experience, we couldn't find the place on any map. We knew exactly which spot on the interstate to look, and we couldn't find it on Google Maps or any paper map we had. We even asked locals about the creepy gas station out on that stretch of road and got only confused looks. We've traveled on that interstate since, and there's no rest stop. Ooh, spooky. Thank you, Courtney, for submitting that. So that actually reminds me of a story my friend told me. I actually, if you remember something scary, I did an episode about this called Time Slips. So like my best friend Tessa told me this story about she didn't happen to her, it happened to her aunt and her mom, and they were driving to Myrtle Beach, and they said that they stopped to get gas, and they stopped at this gas station, and it was like really vintage and like really cool and cutesy, and they were like getting gas. They saw like, like old-timey cars, like 60s looking car, and then there was like a guy with like sunglasses who like waved at them, and they were like, oh my gosh, this like town is so cute. And they like went into the shop, they bought some things, and then they left, went to the beach, hung out for a couple hours, and then on the way back they were telling the people that they met at the beach, sorry, not they met at the beach, but like their family and friends who were meeting them there. They were like, oh, we should stop by this gas station on the way back. We have to show you. It's so, so cute. It was like very vintage and like adorable. And then they get there and it's just an abandoned gas station. There's no one there. Everything was dilapidated, but it was the exact same gas station that they had been at. Like they recognized the markers and stuff. And they're like, wait, this is what? Like how, what? Where's the cute little gas station? Isn't that weird? It's very weird. Adam, thanks for the super chat. Facebook escalates fast. Ghost Town Terror Season 2 wasn't as good. And we can say, you're just mad you lost custody of your kids and can't spell. Luis Santiago. Oh, wait, yeah, I remember that story from the video Time Slips. Yep. It's a very real story. And it weirds me out. I think about it all the time. Because that's like I think that was the first story I ever heard of a time slip. So it just really, really stuck with me. Because I was like, hang on, what? That can happen? Okay, this one's really short. This is from Mira. Okay, here we go. Hey Sapphire, I'm Mira and I've been a fan of yours for the last 4 years and still am. I'll keep it short, unlike last time. So, my baby sister, who's 8 years old, is seeing her friend's dead sister in her dreams from the day she died. She told us today her sister comes daily in my dreams as a ghost and as my friend. For some backstory, my sister's friend, who's around her age, had an elder sister who was 10. She passed away suddenly from some health issue a few days ago, and the same day my mother became gravely sick to the point that we thought the worst. I knew it was because of the girl's death only. My mama is an extremely intuitive person and can latest many things. I don't know what word that's supposed to be. Many things very accurately, like how she accurately predicted someone's pregnancy and that it was a girl. She barely knew before even they found out and ended up having a girl. The same spiritual connection even there's some okay. But for some reason, my sister is seeing dead people unlike us. Now, this is freaking out my mother a lot because we don't know what's happening. I honestly don't know what to do. Any suggestions or advice you might have will be helpful as my sister's still young and not really ready for this all. Thank you. Love, Mira. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think I understand. Like, your family is pretty sensitive, but no one has been able to, like, see things so clearly like your sister. Oh man, I don't think you want my advice on this one. Because here's the thing. Like, I am a weirdo, and I feel like that ability is so cool. I understand that there's a lot of people who don't like that ability, but they have it. And I know that I probably think it's cool because I don't have it. I don't have to live with it. But a part of me is like, don't block it off completely. You know, I hear a lot of stories of people who have their third eye closed when they're little. But it's like, you don't want it completely closed. Like, your third eye is so good for other things aside from seeing ghosts, right? Like, you don't want to block yourself off to everything. The third eye is intuition, foresight. You know, it's seeing what others can't, not just ghosts, but like perspective. You don't want to block that off too, you know? So that's my advice. Probably not what you wanted to hear, but that's what I suggest. Like, don't completely close her third eye. And the way that, how would you do that? Like, it's like, nurture it. The thing is, like, magic, spirituality, 90% of it is like our intent, right? So if you teach your sister, just, you know, like, close yourself off to seeing things, but don't close yourself off to, like, the other gifts that the third eye being open can give you, you know? Adam, thanks for the super chat. Actually, those vintage gas station stories don't work out in reality because the older gas would contain lead and destroy catalytic converters. Hashtag sad. What? Mikey C, I wouldn't mind seeing ghosts, crazy as that sounds. I just, like, I want to, it's one of those things I want to experience, but not all the time. All right. Sorry, y'all. I am looking for one to read. Probably should have. Okay, this one's called Cabin of Shadows. Hi, Sapphire. It's Sparrow. This is a story I wrote back in August. I hope you like stories about creepy cabins. Thank you for reading this if you do. Aspen was called to speak with a lawyer over a cabin property that was left to him in a will by a distant family member. Referring to them as a distant family member was correct, since it was someone he had never heard of, and he wasn't exactly close to his parents to ask them about this individual. He woke up early and headed to the local legal firm at the appointed time. The lawyer didn't say much and handed over a long brown envelope. Then he placed onto his desk a single paper for Aspen to read and sign. Once home, he sat down at the island counter, opening what the lawyer had given him. Within it is a deed, a letter, and a set of keys. The letter said, "To whomever is given the family cabin, let me first apologize, and secondly, beware that not all of the shadows are what they seem." Aspen was confused. Not all the shadows are what they seem. He repeated the words out loud as if trying to make sense of it, then decided it must have just been the ramblings of someone losing their mind in the last moments of their life. Calling up his best friend Jay, who was into the supernatural and unknown, he decided to invite him along. If anything was there, maybe they would be able to figure it out together. If he only turned it down, then maybe Jay would still be here. I feel like I've read this one already. Hues of orange, red, and pink filter the gaps in the trees, indicating the time they arrived. "At least we made it before dark," commented Jay. "Well, it would have been earlier if only someone had woken up on time," retorted Aspen as he opened up the trunk in order to retrieve their bags. "I said I was sorry," mumbled Jay, grabbing out his backpack and duffel bag after Aspen had gotten his. With the keys in hand, Aspen opened the door to the cabin, letting swing open with a creak. For having been abandoned as long as it had, the cabin was surprisingly clean. Too clean. Aspen was thankful that some of the furniture had been left behind, making it easier to set up the equipment that Jay had brought with him. Since they had agreed it would be a good idea to stay in the same room together. Now nighttime, both men were deciding on who should take the first watch to keep an eye on the equipment to see if they could catch anything. "I'll stay up. I'm the reason we were late getting here anyway. If I find anything, then I will wake you up," suggested Jay. Reluctant to agree, Aspen relented, letting Jay have the first watch and settled down into his sleeping bag. Much later, when Aspen opened his eyes in the dimly lit room, he slowly searched for Jay, who had backed himself into a corner, unblinking, and staring up at the far right corner of the ceiling. As he was about to speak, Jay looked over at him and pressed a finger to his lips. Jay then slowly pointed up at where he was staring. Aspen looked up, and all the color drained from his face as his eyes met someone or something that had wedged itself into the small corner. Its arms and legs were elongated and thin, its torso a swirling pitch of dark mass. Opening its white empty sockets, it squinted at Aspen, almost as if it were smiling. In fact, it was. Below, where its nose should have been, was an empty white smile that unnaturally twisted upwards. It giggled and began its slow crawl down the wall towards them. "We have to go," Aspen said to Jay, looking at his best friend out the corner of his eye as he slowly began to sit upright. Jay nodded and began to move himself as the swirling shadow mass now stood to its full height. Reaching to the top of the ceiling itself, slowly began to crawl towards their direction. Aspen was the first to make it to the exit, flinging the door open to run outside. Stepping into the night air, he turned to speak to Jay, only to see him wrapped in the shadow's long arms, its clawed hand over his mouth to muffle any scream that wished to escape. The shadow was still smiling at Aspen with that horrible, twisted, upright mouth as it slipped back into the darkness of the cabin. The door closed by itself. Jay's scream of terror echoed from within, only for it to be followed by complete silence. This would be the last time Aspen would see Jay, nor would he ever return to the cabin of shadows. Ooh. Thank you, Sparrow, for yet another banger. Bangers on bangers. Let me catch up on the chat here. Ooh. Oh my gosh. What? Wait, sorry, I'm like catching up on the chat and I'm like very confused. I don't know what's happening. Okay. We're just gonna not. Let's do another. No, that one's a little too. Where's my live stream today? Not that one. Sorry, y'all. 1 second. Trying to find a good one here. All right, we're going to read this one. Okay. Hi, I am a 17-year-old boy. Recently, I've been encountering some witchy things. It started happening after I turned 16. I started to have visions when I touched any mirror. Once I touched the mirror and saw myself, but the surroundings seemed older, much older, like the Victorian age. The reflection of myself had all the same features like me, but had white long hair, though I have black short hair. I kind of not freaked out as it happened many times before. I started to have lucid dreams in which I saw myself from a third-person narrative. I only couldn't hear any sound in those dreams. Miraculously, those dreams happened in real life the next day. I first thought it was deja vu, but after many such encounters, I told myself that, yeah, you can see the future. A feeling entered me at my 16th birthday, which made me think myself very old, like a very old soul was inhabiting my body. Eventually, I was drawn to witchcraft and blood magic. An insatiable hunger of doing witchcraft rose inside me. I started doing voodoo and stuff. Once I broke a love relationship of my friend with a girl out of nothing but voodoo. Another time I did blood magic to cure my grandmother. I love my grandmother very much because she was like me. She understands me more than anyone. She's still alive for God's grace. After the recent activities, I sorted out that the old soul inhabiting me is of a witch, specifically a male witch. Earlier this year, I saw death. I fell down from the stairs and hit my head very hard. I was rushed to the hospital. I was in a subconscious state when I was taken there. I could listen to everything but couldn't speak or open my eyes. After they injected me with anesthesia for a surgery on my forehead, I woke up in a place full of light, too much light. I saw the older version of myself sitting on a chair in front of me. I was sitting opposite to myself. He told, see, you are nearly dead and you are seeing dead himself. He added, it's you, dear, who's impersonating death here. Then I woke up suddenly in the real world to see everybody rubbing my feet and hands. As I woke up, everyone was relieved, but I never told anyone what happened. Till now, I talk with my past self by touching the mirror and ask for help. He really helps. Whoa, what? That was kind of wild. Thank you for sharing. I don't think there was a name on that. Oh, 1 second. Yeah?
Can I take a shower?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
No, this is a live stream. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
So my recording booth is in my closet, which is adjacent to my husband's shower. So he was asking if he could shower, but it's fine. It's only a problem if I'm like recording my podcast, which I'm not. And we're almost done anyway. We've got 5 minutes. Okay. So here we go. Magic morsels. All right, this is a card for everybody. It usually is very relevant for me, so I feel like I just do this for myself. Ooh, that one wants to come out. Oh, okay. Interesting. This is not the first time I have received this card. The offering. Sacrifice. All right, here we go. What number is that? 24? Oh my gosh, I'm so gassy. The offerings represent the acts of devotion we practice and receive. What we sacrifice for others or what we need in return. Are we in balance with our relationships? Ingredients: devotion, sacrifice, and giving. Yeah, so I have a feeling I know what that means. For me. I don't know if that relates to you guys, but I know what that means. I need to fix up my altars and put some offerings out. Chris E, Sapphire, your shirt's really cute. Oh my gosh, thank you. Actually, I thrifted this. I love going to like Goodwill or St. Vincent de Paul or like using ThreadUp because you pay like $1 for like a cool shirt. All right, y'all. That is the end of our stream. Hope you had a good time. Don't forget, there is a new podcast episode that came out today, so go check it out. And also, you know, if you're a fan of the show, it would really help me out if you like hopped onto Spotify, gave it a good rating, hop onto Apple Podcasts, give it a good rating. I need all the positivity I can get, even though Elijah Wood is a fan. I could still use some extra positivity. All right, I hope everyone has a great rest of your night.